Hello.
Welcome back. We're gonna start right away. I got a bone to pick with you, Ian.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, welcome home from vacation.
I love some controversy.
You said on Twitter that Taylor Swift is the greatest business person of her generation,
Yes.
as if Taylor Swift and I weren't born in 1989, the same year. So here's the issue: if we're judging by money or
Right.
sold out stadiums or cultural impact or platinum albums, sure, fine, she's the best. If we're judging by maintained and half maintained GitHub repos, I'm on the list. I gotta be above her, right?
You have to be, right? I think so. I
So
can't imagine
guess my point
her.
is, what are we judging on? Is the question.
I can't imagine her GitHub repo game is as strong as yours, right? Like
I
I
appreciate
just can't.
that.
I just can't.
I was just looking for a little nuance to the conversation.
Oh man, yeah, I know. It's she's so good. I don't know, but yeah.
So she's now outselling like Avengers in what is it? She's doing a concert movie that she's pre-selling.
Yeah, so she's had like the biggest concert series ever over this past year, and it actually continues into next year. But and tickets are, I don't know. A friend of mine just bought tickets for like $3,000 a ticket for next November. So I mean, it's insane. And so she's been on this tour, and she's been recording. Obviously she's recording videos of herself. I think all artists do this, like they record the audio and the video, or whatever, just in case they ever want to use it for something. But she's obviously got more of a plan than that, and she's releasing it in the movie theaters, so you can go see it in this break of the tour over the winter. She's not performing
Amazing.
until next spring. She's going to have the movie, so people who can't spend $3,000 can go see it in the movie theater for $20 or whatever. So I, of course, got tickets to go see it in IMAX. Yeah. I need a 7-story Taylor Swift.
Of course.
And I'm pretty excited about that.
My wife and several of our friends went to the tour, and they resurrected the group chat, and we're like, all right, when are we buying tickets to go see the movie? It's like, yeah, of course they're going to go see it.
Yeah. All the angles you couldn't see.
I think I saw AMC movie theaters said that they were like beefing up their infrastructure so that they could start doing the pre-sale. And somebody was like talking about how Taylor Swift is an ops queen because she's making all of these companies increase their ops so that they can handle the rush.
Yeah, and that's what you were saying, is that AMC broke all kinds of records for pre-sales and things. And so I mean, she's just gonna print all the money. It's like she's totally ready, right? She's had a plan. Like, I didn't even consider this. I don't think many people even thought about it. I don't think anybody knew about it. And she just comes out of the blue, obviously well planned, not actually out of the blue, and it's like, boom, oh, tours ended for this year. Here it is in the movie theater. Everybody can go. And
super smart that she didn't cannibalize her own tour sales, because it wasn't like, there will be a movie, you don't have to come.
Yep. Nope. And then while the iron's hot, right, while everybody's talking about it, and it's a huge cultural moment, it's like, boom, nope, it keeps going. We're not stopping the train. Here's the movie version, and obviously then there'll be the home version and blah blah blah, and so I mean, it's just going to lead into next year.
I will allow her to edge me out for business person of the year 1989. That sounds fine to me.
What an honor that you were born in the same year as Taylor Swift.
I know.
That's amazing. I wish I could say that. Unbelievable.
I know, it's an honor, and it's also like, oh dang, we're the same age. Shoot, that sucks.
She's a little ahead.
Yeah, we're playing a different game.
Money-wise.
That's all. We're
different
money-wise,
game.
not open source repo wise.
If you listen to her songs, she has not done so well in the love department.
That is
I
true.
think you're ahead in the love
That
department
is true.
and the kid department and all the that end of the world. You're in the lead.
That is true. That
you're
is
just
a very
behind
good
on the
point.
money, but you're working on that.
But we'll
getting
get
you
there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Y'all come to my movie. Okay, so you're back.
I'm back, and you're back. This
all
is the
back.
first episode that we're in our both in home turf. So
That's right.
This is exciting.
How was the return
Proper
home?
cameras. Good. We also had a long. You were on a long trip. This
Yeah.
is like the longest trip, like road trip, I think we've really ever taken down to the Outer Banks. So that was bit of a haul, but the kids are big now, so it wasn't too bad. Not too much fighting and crying and stuff like that. Everybody's
That's good.
humanoid now, which is awesome. So so we actually stopped in DC both ways to just like break up the trip to avoid the 11 or 12 hours straight through.
Did y'all do any like sightseeing, or was it just overnight?
Yeah, the way down we did do sightseeing. I mean, we've been there a few times before, but kind of walked the National Mall.
Yeah.
I love the Lincoln Memorial; it's my favorite. So hit up Lincoln. Did that kind of area, and then I know we went out to dinner or whatnot, and then the way back, we were gonna go to the Postal Museum. We didn't even realize there was a Postal Museum. We were like, "Oh, Postal Museum," but anyway, didn't happen.
What is that?
We got
Just
there
a bunch
too
of
late.
letters, or what do they have there?
This is what the kids' theory was. Like, just stamps.
It's just
I'm not going to
lost
see
mail.
just stamps. Yeah, it's all the lost mail. So I don't know what's there because I didn't get to it because we got going kind of late, and then it wasn't going to work out. So everybody was exhausted. So we just went to the hotel. I played poker because there's a reasonable casino there. I lost a few $100, so not too bad. But I did play like a super long session, and it was a good game. Like it was a great game actually, but I just couldn't find the right spots. So
if I know anything about gambling, and I don't, the strategy is you should chase your losses. I think that's what you're supposed to do. Like if you're down, you just keep playing, and eventually it turns around.
Yeah. So I mean, this is sort of the level. It was like a 5-10 for those of you who play poker. So $300 loss is actually like almost kind of even, which is fine.
5-10, that feels like a lot.
Yeah,
feels like
that's
a
a
big
bigger
game.
game than I normally play. Yeah, so
Jeez.
But when I have these opportunities to play bigger games, I like to take it because like where I play locally never has that. So
Yeah.
that was good. But we went to Top Golf. That's the thing. We did that night.
Nice.
We went to Top Golf, which that was another first. So we did the Waffle House, first time at Waffle House, first time at Top Golf, and that was a lot of fun. Food was better than I expected, and whatever, just get out there and smack the golf ball around a bit.
Yeah,
so that was cool.
It's fun. It's fun that they bring the food and drink out to you, and
just kinda hang out.
It's like it's bar food, but it's so fun. I don't even like golf, but it's a lot of fun.
I don't love golf either. My middle kid is kind of in this, I don't know, he's picked up golf in the last month and he's kind of super in the zone on it. So
That's fun.
he was all jazzed and it was good. It was good. So, but good to be back. I have like 8 million things to do.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. How's the return to the office life for you?
Man, it's been a crazy morning.
Yeah.
Right? It's the first day back. It's absolutely bananas. We're doing this like for HelpSpot. We're rolling out this new store. So HelpSpot it's not like a regular SaaS app where in the app you do things. It's got this whole store set up that's separate from the app partially because it's ancient. And so that's like how you did things in the old days when you had on-premise apps. But also we do a lot of other stuff that isn't even that easy to do with Stripe even still, like invoicing. I know they do invoicing, but we handle all kinds of different types of payment. You can send us a check and whatever, blah, blah. So we have our own thing for that. And so that's a new version that's rolling out today. And in the middle of that, so they're working on that. The guys are cranking away on that. And then I come back to like other decisions I made before I left that I don't love. So I'm fixing those decisions. And then, and then in the middle of all that, I got one of these emails where like, so I've had ianlandsman.com for whatever, 20 something years, right? Mm-hmm. And one of these Reuters image, copyright royalty services has hunted me down and found an image I used in 2005 on a blog post, and they want, $2,000. So
what?
Now I got to go through all that headache. So I like took that down. But of course, like my site is built on like an ancient version of Jigsaw. So even just taking down the page was like, I had to like update the whole thing and like whatever. So I got that done. Got the
Wait,
the
so
page taken down.
somebody tracked you down for what is it? I guess a copyright violation?
Yeah, like I embedded a Reuters image in a blog post in 2005. Probably just not obviously intentionally from somewhere else that
it's 2005. It was run and gun, baby.
I know. So they have these services. This is just the way they're making. Who knows? I'm sure they make millions of dollars a quarter on juicing their numbers by hunting down random blog posts and sending threatening letters. So
are you free and clear now? Are you just going to ignore it?
I mean, it just happened this morning. I took it down. You are absolutely not free and clear. When you
this
take
is
it
legal
down.
advice, so
Right.
yeah, if you're paying attention, we're both attorneys for sure.
Yeah, so I think whatever. It's one of these games, right? Where like I'm always going to push back on them. Hopefully, they cut it down a little bit. Do I think I could win in court? Like, I mean, I don't know. Probably not, to be honest with you, because like I used this image. It was there. Obviously when it's $1,000 or let's say we get down to like $1,000, like, can I hire a lawyer and fight them for $1,000? Do I want to like go through, right? So it's this whole thing. The main thing I was worried about is it even real? So
right.
I went through all that. It does seem to be real. So I don't know. It's like this game where like it's not enough money to fight it. So you're just kind of stuck paying the ransom for this ridiculous blog post that nobody's ever seen.
Right.
And even when it was new in 2005, 50 people saw it, but whatever. So I went through every other image that's up there in my ancient history of blogs and made sure there's nothing else, deleted a few things that, whatever. I knew they weren't my images. I don't think they didn't seem good enough to be Reuters images, but whatever they were, just whatever, delete them. So anyway, that's been my crazy
home.
return to work. Exactly. So
now I'm thinking we should start a business that exploits those images and emails and demands payment. That sounds pretty awesome.
This is exactly what my wife said. She's like, we needed one of these gigs. I'm like,
yeah.
Or what about we take the white hat version of that? A service that checks your websites and says, hey, some of these images look a little iffy. You might want to clean this up before these bad guys get a hold of you.
Before we sell the lead to the bad guys who are going to sue you.
Right, exactly.
I think that's like a protection racket. So
yeah. I love a good
probably
gangster.
No good there. Yeah.
Gangster thing. I'm big on the gangsters.
Things are good over here. We tried to do potty training for the kids over the weekend. Just total epic disaster. Just not even close not even close to working.
Yeah.
So we didn't we didn't fail. We're just going to try again later. we put a hold on it and said, "Okay, this isn't working." They are a little young, to be fair, and so we're just gonna try again later. But boy, that was the worst. That was not great. That was not great.
Do they have an interest yet, or they're not really interested?
They're not really interested.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. They're just interested in like peeing on the floor.
Right.
And it's like, okay, that's gross. Yeah, not a huge fan of that, I'll be honest.
Yeah, until they get the interest, until they're showing interest in like the toilet and stuff, I feel like it's gonna be rough there.
Yeah. So back to diapers and everybody's happy. Kids are at school today, and so my wife is feeling very light and free. So yeah,
good.
Yeah, much better. And then yesterday was Labor Day, and I had a little fun me time and just redesigned my site a little bit. Actually, that's totally not fair. Hugo, the designer at Tuple, redesigned my personal site, and then Jason Beggs, good guy Jason, built out a lot of it. And then when you get a design done, and then you start to put the real content in, and you're like, oh man, I didn't tell the designer about this part,
right?
And they couldn't have known, and so I am going to tweak it, which usually means like destroy the design.
Sure.
But that's what I've spent a few hours doing, was like playing around with how am I going to fit this content into this design, and it was fun. Tailwind, still pretty great. Still love it.
It's the GOAT.
I used some of those wild like descendant selectors. Very, very cool. A lot of fun. So yeah, a good distraction after a weekend filled with very few wins, I will say.
Yeah, those potty training days, those are rough. It's just brutal. It's just brutal. Especially, I can't imagine two at once. Forget.
Yeah.
Even just one is a disaster too.
Yep. It scales linearly, I think.
Right.
It was a double disaster. Yeah,
right.
for sure.
Yeah. You might have to do one at a time. Just because they're twins doesn't mean you have to do them both at the same time too. So you could, whichever one takes an interest, that might help get the other one interested once one's doing it. Then
that's true.
Kind of go that route with it. Yeah. Oh man, how's the? Now I've seen some people talking about screencasting.com videos as if they've seen them, but then I checked and it wasn't launched. So I don't know if you have some people like
I got some people on the mailing list, man. So I'm trying to do the whole like, hey, sign up for the mailing list, I'll send you stuff. Sign up for the mailing list, I'll send you stuff, and it's working. And so I've sent out a preview of maybe like 3 or 4 of the lessons, and then I started to solicit videos from other people. Be like, send me your video, I'll do a video review of your video. And I've sent out a few of those like teardown. Actually, I've sent out one of those teardowns, and I have another one going out to the list today. And so it's kind of like, the incentive to sign up for the list is you'll get some content early, and then hopefully when launch time comes, the list will be, bigger enough to make a difference. So, yeah.
What are you looking at for launch? When are you thinking that's going to happen?
Yeah, I think so. Today we're recording is September 5th. I think it's going to be September, what is it, 20th maybe? Whatever the Wednesday of that week is. I think it's like 2.5 weeks away. Yeah, very close. So a lot of good stuff happening there. I've also started to reach out to people to do like screencaster spotlights. And so we got one in already, Mateus, who's a friend of Laravel.
Yeah.
I reached out to him and I was like, hey man, I would love for you to do a video on like, hey, I'm Mateus, this is what I do, here's kind of my setup, this is my camera, my microphone, here's what I like, here's what I don't like. So do like a short, 3 to 5 minute video on that, and then on the page have it listed below of like, here's all the gear that Mateus uses, here are the links where you can find Mateus's stuff. That way, it's a fun way for people to see what other people are doing.
Right.
If they start to look around at like different cameras and microphones, they can look at some of these other screencasters and be like, oh, this guy uses the camera I was thinking about using. Let me watch his video or something like that. And I think it'll be good, like social behavior, right? Because then every screencaster that we spotlight is going to want to, send people over there and be like, hey, look at this thing I have on screencasting.com that has like a backlink to my screencasting stuff. And so trying to round out some of the content there to make the site a little bit heavier for SEO and social stuff.
And everybody loves gear posts. Like gear posts,
loves it. Yes,
classic win. Like you're just gonna have people wandering through there just because why not? I just love seeing what gear people are using and what they're doing with it and everything. So that's a definite win there. Yeah, and the things to work together definitely useful too. Just like, which camera, maybe I already have a piece of something. Like maybe I can see like, well, what are people pairing with this and how's that going and everything. So yeah, I like that a lot, especially with like if they have a little bit of write up about how they like it, or just like, is there a trick? Like, oh, you need to do this, or the microphone setup should be that, especially with the mic stuff tends to be a lot of things like that, or specific cameras having like whatever the good settings for streaming or even video setup sometimes, since they're usually kind of more photography focused by default in their default settings. Sometimes you have a few tweaks there you need to do to get it set up for the video. So
and I think we'll end up with a page that's like screencasting.com/cameras, and it'll be a whole listing of like the different camera options, and then in each section for like the Canon M50, which is what I'm running, then we can have links out to all the profiles of people that use the Canon M50. And then we can have like a full, super heavy in terms of content page for screencasting cameras. And I think given the domain and the fact that we can put a ton of content on there, I think we'll rank pretty highly for screencasting cameras.
Yeah, especially the camera, I think, or even the mics too. I mean, I think if you had a page for each of the big camera systems and mic systems, and then even just whether it's you or some, pay somebody to go through and do the work of like either building these or even just finding the good videos on YouTube about how to set them up. Because like when I was setting up for this new setup I have here, it's like it took me like 4 YouTube videos and like 3 hours for this particular camera, which is like the Sony A7C. And so like this is actually a really good camera potentially for streaming. Like it's a video oriented camera to some degree anyway, but it's like even that didn't have like, here is how you would set this camera up for streaming and the things you should do. And like, so I think just having that for, you know, because basically if you do the Sonys and the Canons, you don't have to do every single one even, but the big ones, a lot of them are same across anyway. It's like, you know, the menuing system and everything's the same across multiple cameras in the series. So I think that'd be super useful, and you get a lot of links for that because it's actually pretty hard to find that.
Pretty hard to find. So you just went through this. So like, what part was hard for you to find? Was it concise or comprehensive, or what was the part that was missing?
End up there was like no videos I found anyway, at least for this particular camera, that really went through and like how to set it up, especially for the streaming, which might be a little different than what you're doing. But even for the video, there was just a lot of like, here's some of the settings, but then I knew other stuff. I mean, I know a little bit about it, which helped. If I was starting from less knowledge, I think it would have been even worse. But just even things like, how do you run the power to it? Like, should you do HDMI out? Or a lot of the cameras have USB-C, which can pipe over it, but there's actually a difference. And HDMI is probably better, but not necessarily always. And so there's kind of things like that in terms of the setup, physical setup of how you're going to power it and how you're going to get the feed out. Yeah. And then also the Sony system, all these camera systems, the menu is a disaster. So, you know, how do you find all the little spots where you need to set it up for, whether it's changes for the continuous power or changes for like what settings it should be on for video and all that stuff. Idea. So just to get that initial setup so you have something reasonable and you're not, you know, some of them have overheating issues. Is there certain things you have to do? Maybe you shouldn't run it at 1080p or whatever, like whatever, all the different things to be aware of for the particular camera. So you know, your first run experiences aren't, you get 20 minutes in and it's shutting down. And
in the middle of a recording session, which is super frustrating. Ooh, so this is a good idea. This is a really good idea. I think, so one of the things I'm thinking for like continually filling the top of the funnel, because I want this course to last forever, you know, as forever as possible. I'm thinking I'll do a separate YouTube channel that is just screencasting focused.
That makes sense.
And this could be a really good couple of videos where I synthesize all of the information about, you know, because people are trying to teach you how to use the camera for everything. Right. And I could synthesize all of that into, here's how you use it just for a webcam or a screencast, basically. Yeah. That is really interesting. I like that idea. The question is, am I going to have to buy a bunch of cameras to like do it honestly? Because I don't want to do that.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of services for renting cameras. So for like $20, $30 or whatever, you can just like rent the camera and the lens for 2 days, do the video, send it back.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, Ian. This is why we do this. We do this podcast for my benefit. This is amazing. Okay, yeah, that's obvious. Yep. What is it called? There's one that's like
there's
like
a big
glass
one.
rent or I'm thinking of Rent the Runway, which is different. Yeah. I'll look it up. That's fine.
It should be easy to find. Yeah, okay. I can't remember the names, but I know a ton of people have used them. Everybody seems to have pretty good results with it. So I think that you're getting like pretty, you know, good gear in good shape, and it'll be fine for your purposes of I don't even want to keep
the gear, so it's perfect. So
okay, and you only need one lens probably or whatever. So
okay, cool. That'll be fun.
There you go. That's another project for the list.
Yeah, seriously. I count this as a sub project, so mentally this doesn't take a slot. Yeah, exactly. Right. I don't feel like, oh man, I got a million. No, I only have like 4 things to juggle, of which subtask A is record 1 million videos. So
I have a hard time with that. I get down that path. This is part of the stuff I've been eliminating from decisions I made pre-vacation.
Yep.
Is it's just like I get too much stuff going, and I'm not as good at that. I've never been that good at it. If I get too many balls, then I just start to get like, it just weighs on me, and then I don't do even the things I need to be doing. It's just like, it's too much stress and pressure. So then I gotta go back through and be like, nope, don't actually need to do those things right now. Like, It'll
Yep.
be fine. We can wait a few months or 6 months or whatever. Put it on like a separate Notion page for like kind of backlog of ideas. Just
Parking
send
lot,
it over
yeah.
there, so it's not like in my day-to-day vision. And then yeah.
Yep,
Gotta
you are
do that.
super not alone. I feel the same way. I feel like I have like a natural kind of ebb and flow cycle almost of like expand, let's do everything, and then
Right.
I get to like the maximum expansion and I'm like, uh-oh, this is too much. And then I contract down and focus on the few things that I think are most important maybe or most pressing. And
Yeah.
then that just kind of ebbs and flows over time. And I don't know if that's bad. Like I don't know if that's bad. I
don't know.
maybe wish I didn't get to the point where it was like, this is way too much. I'm gonna
overwhelming.
die. Yeah, which is where I am now. So
There is this entrepreneurial I think a lot of entrepreneurs have that issue, and it's like you get that little bit of space, like you actually get some space and you're like, I must fill this space. Like there's more things to do, let's pile stuff into the gap. And then all of a sudden you look around a week later, you're like, oh, I actually have tons of stuff to do. And then the thing, you have no capacity for like when someone comes out of the blue and wants to charge you $2,000 for a photo you used 20 years ago, or like all these, random stuff that comes up when you're running a business, or even side projects, or even just your day job needs you to work longer or whatever. Like, who knows? Like just having the extra capacity to take on those unknown things. I hit that all the time where I'm like running too close to capacity, and then like something happens. And I'm like, oh no, I got to deal with that and rework
and you start
things.
actively trying to like shed projects. You're like,
Right.
I can't do that. That's I mean, Hugo designed my website I think back in like September or October of last year, and it's now September of this year. And it was just one of those things where at the time I was like, yeah, hell yeah, let's do a website. That seems awesome. And then he designed it, and I was like, oh gosh, I don't have time to do this. Like, I can't do this anymore. That's one thing where I think I do get in trouble sometimes is I'll start the project and have like other people, pay them, of course, but have other people do parts of it. And then I'm like, oh no, now it's back to me. And so, hopefully Hugo's happy, one, to see his design out there, and two, of course I did pay him for it. But now I'm finally like, all right, here we go. Now it's come back around to I have time to do this.
The number of people and the amount of money I paid for people to not do the things I asked them to do is completely insane. Yes, I know I paid you. I'm fine with you not doing it. Just forget it. Like just what you were gonna do and then place on me. Like I'm fine just paying you to not just take that money, enjoy it. I don't even want you to produce it. I just want to not worry about it. I do have had that happen numerous times. So
yeah, and it's kind of like if they do produce the thing, it's like, yes, I'm thrilled to death with the work you've done. It's amazing. I love it. I'm gonna sit on it for a little while. Sorry about that.
So we should get the full update. What's up with the hello query? I don't think we've even talked about that on this.
We have not talked about that in a while. So we've been doing a push with do you know Boris Lepkin in the Laravel community? He's the guy who wrote Advanced Inertia.
Okay, yes, I know that.
So he's the Inertia TypeScript. He's a wizard. Like I thought for a long time that I was a really good developer, and I think I am. I'm not as good as Boris. Like Boris is a gosh dang machine.
Yeah.
And it also happens that he's like really, really good at the front end. And I'm okay at front end. But in terms of like, all right, let's wire up Inertia and Vue all together with typed stuff on the back end, like I don't hold a candle to Boris.
Right.
So anyway, we've hired Boris to help us build out some of that stuff.
Awesome.
Because like I said, I got to this point where I was like, oh, this is too much. And we were just moving too slowly because I was also having a hard time. Like, project's been going on for 1,000 years. And losing some of that motivation for that side. And so bringing Boris on to like just plow through some tasks has been really awesome. So that's been going well. We're reaching the point where it's like, all right, let's onboard some customers here. So Colleen and I are talking about like, okay, we're about to approach the starting line of this project. Like, even though
Right.
it feels like this should be the finish line, we're approaching the starting line. Let's talk about like what that's going to look like going forward.
Yeah.
And so there's still some, there's still some decisions and stuff to be made there. But just having someone else that's really, really talented help me on the development side has been like a huge boost in terms of like emotional fortitude to have somebody else picking up some of that slack. So that's been great. So thanks, Boris. Thanks for being a 10x developer. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think getting to shipping is so important, and like that's something I haven't always factored enough in. And actually, with a huge new project that we'll talk about on here eventually, I've been reworking a lot of that to try to get to that shipping part faster. So I think that's super important. Like you said, because when you're just on that march of like the never-ending march, it is very difficult to like stay motivated and even to remember what you were trying to do at times and things like that. And so I think having that, whether it's help or just reorganizing. I think there's actually Jason Cohen has a really interesting blog post about this where kind of indirectly about this, but he was more talking about like MVPs and how he doesn't like MVPs.
Yeah.
But more about the idea then of doing something where it's just smaller but complete, so that like even if you then don't add on to it ever, or even if it takes longer then to get to the full vision, it's not that you're shipping this kind of junky, doesn't even work for the customer tool. It's just that you're shipping something that is small, but that there is a use case for, even if it's just that small feature set. And people could love that small feature set, and then you can either build on
iterate
it or
off
not
of
build
that.
on it. But that different take on it, which I kind of like that idea of it as well.
Yeah, and I feel like there is like a big emotional win from having that in people's hands, so that you can start to get that like that dopamine from people actually using the thing instead of just sitting quietly alone working on it all the time.
Money changing hands and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So when are you mentioned it in passing? You got a big secret project we're going to talk about at some point?
Yeah, we'll talk about the big secret project.
All right. I love it.
We're not there
so
yet.
y'all stay tuned. Come back next week, and we'll probably not talk about it then. But keep coming back.
Not be
and
next
maybe
week, but
eventually we will talk about it.
Eventually we'll get to it. We're definitely going to talk about it, but not yet. We have lots of other stuff to talk about, though.
Let's do it.
No worries. What else we got here? So, all right. So what about? All right. We can talk about this. So I posted about Year of Livewire. What do you think about that? I think 2024 is the year of Livewire. Is the year of Filament. Is the year of the Livewire ecosystem. To me, this is going to be a big Livewire
before I
year.
tell you any thoughts, tell me what you were doing and what kind of prompted the Year of Livewire tweet.
Well, I've just been super deep in Livewire again. So sort of a long story, but the short version is I plan to do a bunch of stuff with Livewire 3 last year when it was sort of supposed to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, did some sponsoring to help do some of that and whatever. It just took longer, as these software projects do, whatever. So it's fine. So this is where I kind of then got over into the React and all that, which we've touched on a little bit here. I was like, well, I've never looked at Inertia, never looked at React. Let me go off in that direction for a bit. So I went over there, learned React, played with Inertia, and all that stuff. Fine. So then Livewire 3 comes out, and new Filament comes out, and there's a bunch of other projects all along the ecosystem. The Spatty stuff's all being updated to Livewire 3. I know the Laravel core stuff that uses Livewire has been updated or will be updated soon. So I've been back in Livewire 3 streets. I'm like, all right, let me get in here, since this was kind of my original plan, and we use Livewire for other stuff anyway. So Larajobs uses it, and the store thing that's launching today for HelpSpot uses it, and whatever. So we use Livewire a bunch of places, and I just love it. I'm not even like super deep on it yet, but I've been loving all the changes. I just think it's like so obviously like the foundation to then build on for world domination.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm all about the world domination, and
me too.
and I just think this is like, it's so integrated with Laravel in the way that none of the other things can ever be, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just great. And I think what the filament guys are doing is great, and how they've expanded that to where you can build, it's not just like an admin panel anymore. It's, got bigger ambitions than that, and you can really use it to build other sorts of apps and things. And I mean, Filament's sort of a little bit intense and heavy to get started with.
Talk to me about Filament, because I thought it was an admin panel, but now I'm seeing people, like you say, it's like application builder. So like,
right,
what is the scope? What is the scope there?
Yeah, I mean, the scope is kind of massive. So I mean, it's definitely where you could use it now for. And maybe you always could to some degree, but I think it's been fleshed out a little bit more, where it's not just like admin for the literal admins of the system to manage a SaaS app, but you could definitely use it. Whether it's going to be a little hard to explain, but they have this concept of a panel, which is sort of like an admin dashboard, but you could use it for actually the UI of your app now with what they've done with it, or part of the UI, like maybe you have like, like a user area, but then there might be other areas that don't necessarily use Filament for like the front, let's say, that maybe is more custom or things like that. So you could mix and match. You could also just use the individual components, like the table builder. Like I just saw like Spatty's using the table builder.
Yeah, I've seen the table builder.
The media library, I think. And the form builder and things like that. So... And, it's basically the missing component library of the Laravel Livewire kind of ecosystem in terms of if you want the like fully integrated components. Now, I still don't think they're all the way, and they're definitely not all the way, to sort of the full-on polishedness of like the React ecosystem. But I do think it's gotten a lot closer and is a lot better. And then you're making different trade-offs. Like maybe it's not quite as uber polished as that in areas, but then on the flip side, like it's super tied into Laravel, and it understands Laravel, and you can just totally ignore a whole bunch of annoying kind of API validation, all that stuff, networking communication type things, because it all just magically works. So... yeah, so I don't know.
So are you using Filament for anything at this point?
So I'm not. Well, we use actually one of the components, I think the table builder in the new store. But I am evaluating for a super big secret project, possibly using it pretty heavily. So yeah, so that's what I've been kind of digging into that stuff. But yeah, I just think it's like all reaching this place. I think it's all going to get a lot better too. Like they're coming out with like Filament's the lead designer, I think he is at Filament, is coming out with like a theme package so that you can have some different styles in there if you want something like a little cleaner than the default, things like that. And yeah, there's just a lot of activity on the Livewire end and the Filament end with people, doing a lot of active dev work around it. So
it does seem to be a very active project.
Yeah,
it seems like there are a lot of people working on it, and there's a lot of motion on it, and a lot of people are like contributing to it. Is there a paid component? How do these people make money?
Filament, I don't believe, has a directly paid component. No, you can sponsor Dan, who kind of runs it. And same
Dan
with
is working for a company, right?
Yeah, I think he works for Kirschbaum.
And he
so I think he's like semi-sponsored in that way. I don't know exactly the exact deal there, but I do think they do give him at least some time to work on it, is my impression. And then, Caleb has the kind of Livewire, the Alpine components that he sells. And then he has a lot of GitHub sponsors, although GitHub has kind of messed that up a little bit on the sponsorship front. But and Livewire also has a paid support channel now too, if you want to get paid support for like if you have a big Livewire project and want to be able to have kind of direct access to the core brain trust, then you can pay them for that, which is a great program too. So yeah, I mean, all these things, I think it's like every open source project, it's like how do you monetize it to kind of survive and pay the bills so you can build the open source thing people want.
Okay, so Livewire 3 plus ecosystem plus tight integration with Laravel. That's why you think 2024 is the year of Livewire?
Yeah, I just think with this new foundation, like, so there's always been a little bit of like kind of rough edges to Livewire when you get in there and like build something more complicated where there can be just more kind of difficult error states or a lot of sort of subtle things you have to be aware of to make that work. And so I think was always a little bit tricky. Or for pages with lots of components, there'd be like a lot of network stuff going on and things like that. And a lot of that stuff is, I mean, almost all of it really has been, made a lot better, fixed. Yeah. If it was like kind of more bugs or more sensible defaults, or I know optimized in terms of like the networking. So like the foundation is like super strong. And I think with Filament on top, then you just have this nice way to actually get started with, bam, I can like build out an idea really quickly, which I know has always been also kind of one of Taylor's core tenets, so to speak, with Laravel, is like, can you get to building something, pretty quickly, which is why Laravel always does such a great job with, the other elements of like, authentication and having all those Jetstream and all those things to make it really easy to just get all that boilerplate stuff that is terrible to build kind of out of the way right at the beginning, and Laravel just can give you that. So yeah, I don't know. I just think, now having just gone through all the React stuff too, it's like, even with inertia, it's still, JavaScript, right?
Yeah.
Like ultimately,
got him. Welcome home, baby.
Yeah,
you're back.
Woo! So
it's still JavaScript.
Yeah, it's still JavaScript, and it's like if you don't have to be in there, or if something can make it nice for you, so that you're in there, but you don't have to really know too much about it, except for when you really need to. And then Livewire does a great job with that. It's all integrated with Alpine, like fully now. So it used to be this sort of like they weren't actually one and the same, but now it's essentially like they're one and the same, and so you can use Alpine, which I like a lot. And they can cross communicate really easily where you need to. And so for those times where you do need to do something JavaScripty, that's literally only in the browser, then great. Like you can do those weirdo JavaScripty things and sync it up with Livewire if you need to, and have that all work magically. So yeah,
I buy it.
Yeah,
I'm with you. So I think Livewire 3 is like a step change, like a fundamental improvement over Livewire 2. I was never a heavy Livewire user, and I'm still not actually. But I have used Livewire 2 and I've used Livewire 3, and I do think all of the time and energy that Caleb put into Livewire 3 was worth it, because I think
agree.
a lot of the I feel like a lot of the drive-by criticisms of Livewire 2 was around performance and requests and that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I feel like Caleb went to the nth degree trying to solve some of the batching and, like you said, tight integration with Alpine, so you can do some stuff that is strictly front end but is still fully integrated to Livewire, such that when you do send a request, like it all goes together.
Right. And
so I think my point of view on Livewire is I actually don't mind writing JavaScript that much, because I write Vue and not React. Little barb to React.
I'm not going to Vue. That's for sure.
Okay.
But we don't have to talk about that again.
Yeah. But what I do love about Livewire is just the network chasm has been crossed, and you don't have to worry about, I think you mentioned like APIs and validation at some point. Like it's just all there. Like the front end and back end is handled, like the communication between the two is handled for you, and that is it's just a delight to use, to not think about like, all right, how am I going to serialize this and send it across the wire and validate it and send some response back and respond to it. Like Jason wired up my new website, and there's like a listing of content, and you can filter between like videos and articles and talks and that kind of thing.
Right.
And he did it all in Livewire 3, and I think with Folio, is that the single page one, or is Volt the single page one? Which one's the page router one?
Well, the Volt is the single page Livewire component.
Yes.
And then,
Folio is the page routing. Okay.
Yeah.
So he did it all with Volt style Livewire. And so you just open up this content list.blade.php, and like you see a little bit of Livewire at the top, and then the view or the template at the bottom. And it's like, I get this. This is
Right.
this has like collapsed a level of mental complexity in my mind, and I really dig it. So I do think the ecosystem is developing. I think all the work that Filament is doing is great. I think also Philo, everything that Philo touches in the
Philo.
Livewire ecosystem is incredibly high quality, and he's got I don't know all of his projects, but he's got a lot of stuff going on over there. But I could see it. I could see 2024 being the year of Livewire, and hopefully with like the PHP resurgence and me trying to convince people that PHP is good.
Get
hopefully
over.
we get some momentum going here.
Well, the other thing too, I think that's huge for Livewire is the sort of that it's been fully brought into the fold under the Laravel domain. So it's like livewire.laravel.com. So that's always the other thing is like, you know, you can drop Livewire in for sure and just like use it here and there, but also it's, you know, I think ideally in some ways like you'd be, especially in 3 where there's like kind of the single page mode where it can really be preloading things.
Super
like,
cool.
So you can just have it be everything basically. But that's a huge commitment. And obviously everybody's always scared about like, well, this is like kind of a thing. It's run by, you know, 1 or 2 people. Like, do I want to have my entire app built on this thing? And so, you know, being in the official Laravel fold just has that extra level of assurance that, you know what, like the Laravel Inc. crew is going to take care of this project. Like, no matter what, Livewire is here to stay, and it's going to get better, and it's going to be even more integrated into Laravel core in the future in different ways. And so, and same with Volt being released by Laravel Inc. So you have that support there. So it's just like everything's coming, everybody's on board with Livewire, that this is like the default way to me to write a Laravel app. It's like, it's Livewire. Spicy. And then then there's, you know, obviously there's other reasons why you might use React or Vue or just Blade in a super simple scenario or whatever. But kind of your main line, I'm building a real app that's, you know, significant in size. I feel like Livewire is the front end technology you're looking at for that on Laravel. And that's kind of where things are going in my mind. So anyway, so I think all that kind of comes together to be the year of Livewire. So
I like it. You want to hear my spicy take on the subdomain thing?
Yeah, subdomain
I
thing.
want there to be inertia.laravel.com too. And I know that inertia is like all things to all people, a little Bible reference there, but I know that inertia has all these different frameworks. I want it to be first party.
To be
Laravel.
in the fold.
Yes, I want it to be in the fold, fully adopted. And I know that it's like feature complete or whatever, but I just want it to be more specific to Laravel. And maybe continue on with the other frameworks, you know, bless their hearts. But I want it to be more specific to Laravel.
Well, this is a very interesting point because this is actually one of the things I hit with inertia. And now it's been 2 months, so I don't even remember the exact details. But basically I hit a thing where I thought it should be doing something a little bit differently. And I wish I could remember the details, but I literally don't even remember the details.
This is going to be a good one. This is going to be good content. Yeah.
But that's not really the point. The point is that that it's everybody's yeah, it's done, it's feature complete. And I'm well, but here's the thing of how it's handling something across the wire that I feel like it should be doing a little bit differently. That would be easier to then manage. I believe it was on the Laravel side, it could be doing something a little differently to be better. And everybody's no, it's feature complete. And I'm I kind of get where they're coming from. That's well, maybe literally the wire protocol of it is feature complete, but I feel like there's these other maybe rough edges, and then I'm poking around, other people seem to have the same rough edges and things, and I'm I don't know, then I want to be on the thing that's feature complete? Where is this software that's done? I'm dying to find the done software. I've never had done software ever. I feel like that's not really a thing, and so that it's done feels a little to me, whereas Livewire, it's hey, there's all this activity, I know Caleb's super building it out, and it's I'd rather have the thing that's moving forward and is not feature complete, since I don't know what that means in software exactly. Really. So
I know.
Anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. So I agree. I would love it to see it. I think whether I'm using it or not, it would be awesome if it was sort of fully, I think it has been like sort of mostly adopted, but yeah, it's definitely not official. And so, and I don't know if Taylor is inclined to like put a bunch of work into it and things like that, especially since it isn't like just a Laravel thing. It's sort of has to then maintain the Ruby version, and I think there's whatever other random frameworks it supports. So
yeah, there's all kinds. I wonder if there's an opportunity for someone with good taste to like build on top of Inertia that is Laravel specific.
I think there is a project where someone forked it and was doing a lot of the stuff that
I remember
people have been kind of complaining about, but I don't know where that
think it went very far.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like to get that momentum is so hard in open source to like you can fork anything obviously, but can you then like build up the crew around it who are interested in participating in it?
Oh, you know who should do this is Boris. Genius machine Boris. Yeah.
Maybe
Boris, if you're listening, you should do this. Yeah, we should definitely take on more. That's a good idea. Okay, Year of Livewire. I buy it. Good segment there. I think I want to talk about LinkedIn.
Oh, going from the new school to the old school.
Not terrible. Like, actually kind of good. Yeah. Okay,
well,
so here's...
good is far, but let's hear your take on it.
Well, I said not terrible, yeah. I maybe wrote down good, but I said not terrible. So, historically, here's what I've thought about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a place where you go to tell made-up, inspiring stories about how wonderful you are, right? So, like, I'm walking to a job interview, and there was a dog that needed water, and I gave it water, and I got to the interview, and the dog was the boss. Like, wow, that's amazing. That's incredible. It's like that's how I viewed LinkedIn forever. It's cringe, it's terrible, it's corporate speak, it's nothing. And to be fair, there's a lot of that still there. But I went over and posted some stuff on LinkedIn. I think the one that really surprised me was there's a PHP developers group over there. And I went and posted my PHP doesn't suck anymore video. And it got like 400 reactions, I think is what they call it, several dozen comments, and like 30,000 views of the post, not the video. So like 30,000 impressions on this LinkedIn post. And I was like, what? Who is active over here? And I think that's, indicative of my small mind, is like I only see Twitter as social media, but there's a whole world out there. And so I've started posting a little bit more content over there. And I think one of my rules is always going to be yourself. And so I'm not doing like the cringe business content. I'm just basically saying the same things I would say on Twitter. And I've noticed that it's getting a lot of traction, and I'm super surprised. And so I tweeted something like, LinkedIn might be a viable place to hang. And you said something like, yeah, it's always been pretty good. So what have I been missing?
Well, I don't know. I said something along those lines, but really,
you're really walking back the good
I'm walking back on that because
you don't want to be on the record as saying it's good.
Yeah, well, not that. It's just so it's very interesting. First of all, that you even had a more sort of a deeper understanding of it than I did until like maybe a year or two ago when I started re-looking to it again. Is more like I literally just thought it was a directory of corporate people. Like, and I was on there, and occasionally people would be like, can we connect to you or whatever they called it? And I would just go through like once a year and like check all the little check boxes for the 100 people who asked to be connected, and I would let them be connected, and then I wouldn't come back for a year. And I know you could in-mail, and so I was like, okay, well, I guess people are over there in-mailing each other and like whatever, fine. But then, like, recently, I don't know if it's like the fall of the, kind of the semi-fall from grace of Twitter reignited it, or if this has always been going on. So maybe somebody can tell us the history. But then I was like, oh, there's like actually people, like, I didn't even know about the boss dog story. Like, I just thought there was like nothing going on there. But there's actually people posting stuff there, like, Twitter-ish, social media-like fashion. And I was like, oh, wow. And so then, then looking around a little more, everybody's like, yeah, of course, like LinkedIn's like the best place to post your stuff. And I'm like, really? Yeah. Like I can't even think of LinkedIn. Like anytime I go to say anything in a social context, I never consider LinkedIn. I never think about it. I've been recently trying to make myself think about it unsuccessfully, but I'm going to keep trying because I do think, it makes sense. It's like, especially if you're on the angle of, you know, the more businessy angle where I'm trying to get my name out there for my products or services or whatever. Well, like just talking to pure business people probably makes more sense than just the randos on Twitter, right? But yeah, I don't know. There is. Have you solved this barrier? Like, to me, there's things I still don't even understand. Like, you can be followed, but that's different than the thing with the check mark, and I don't understand. I guess you can just follow me without the check mark, and these are two separate systems. I guess
you can like
I don't know,
can like turn on. I think you can turn on creator mode or like something like that on LinkedIn, and that that allows you to have followers. And then you can have the traditional like connections where
and those are
like those
separate.
People can message you or like you know them or something like that.
You're the 1 degree, 2 degree, whatever.
Yeah,
separation.
exactly. Yeah. And so I don't like I don't really care about connections over there, to be honest. So sometimes I'll get a whole bunch of connection requests and I'm like, I don't know any of you people, no. And then sometimes I get some and I'm like, sure, whatever, I don't care.
Right.
And so I don't have really good rules on that. But yeah, the turning on creator mode or follower mode or whatever it's called separates the number of connections you have from the number of followers you have, which I think makes it more like a social network than just a traditional networking type thing.
Well, that's why I was talking to. I think the thing that really woke me up was just like a few months ago, and I was talking to Eric Barnes of Viral News, and he was saying how they have 100,000 followers on LinkedIn, and I was like,
Whoa.
"What are you even talking about?" He's like, "Oh, they got 100,000 followers," and I'm like, "Holy cow! Like, who would have even thought? I haven't even considered LinkedIn." And
he said on Twitter that LinkedIn drives more clicks to Laravel News than Twitter does.
Yeah, which makes sense. It all makes sense. But now it's just like, how do I retrain my brain?
I know.
It's very difficult.
I know.
But I do want to, because I think it just makes a lot more sense over there. But we'll see. Maybe with some of this new stuff coming down the pike, I can try to rework my brain over to there a bit more. But so what have you utilized? Like, have you posted about screencasting or what have you done?
I posted about screencasting. I've shared some of the YouTube videos, and then something I'm trying to do as much as makes sense. Whenever I have something visual to share, is make a little video about it, even if it's just like a screen recording, not like a talking head or anything. Yeah. Because to my understanding, which I don't spend a lot of time, researching the rules of these networks, but to my understanding, every network is like, they want the viewers to stay as long as possible. They want video, they want engagement. And so I always think like, what do the networks want? What do I want to do / what am I comfortable like putting out there publicly? Like, I don't ever want to end up in the spot where I'm like tweeting these wise business sayings because they get a lot of engagement. So like, there's some happy medium between what does the network want, what do I want to do, what is honest to me, and honestly, video is very easy. So like with the site redesign, I'm tinkering around and I'm like, hey, I like the way that this looks. I could do a screenshot, and that's better than nothing. Or I could make a little video of the interaction and then tweet that and put that also on LinkedIn. And that, I think, drives the engagement up a little bit, and at least drives the watch time up. And then Twitter's like, we'll push this to more people. Right. So that's kind of what I've done recently is, take these short little screen recording videos that are like, 30 seconds or whatever. Right. And then put a little bit of text with like, hey, I'm working on this thing. And that's another thing. I always want to be like a little bit of the moment and talk about what I'm actually doing, and not like I'm sitting in my ivory tower talking about, how you should think about software development or business. It's like, that's just not my brand, and I don't want to do that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking in terms of what am I putting on specifically LinkedIn at this point.
Yeah, now that I have the new video set up, I kind of want to do more video too. I think that makes sense. It is pretty quick to do, really, and I'll have the screencasting course that makes sure I'm doing it correctly, because that is the part I get into like ScreenFlow and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing in here. Forget it. So I got you. That'll be good. Yeah. So, so doing more video. How do you handle this? Like, there is this. So I'm starting to think about some of the stuff for like my new projects, and it's like how early you talk about them. Like I hate, because you're so small whether you're, like it's just you or even with a small team. It's like stuff just comes up and then you're sidetracked for a month. That just happens all the time. And so then you don't make any progress for a month. And so I hate talking about it like too early, but also you have to talk about it. Like, I think a lot of the interest and engagement is like, here's what I'm doing. This is what went wrong. Like, so if I'm not talking about it early, then it's just like, oh, it's launch day. And then whatever, you haven't built up any momentum. So there is this like balance of like, I want it to be functional to some degree before I really get into talking about it, but also not too far along that it's already too far along. So
I feel that deep in my bones because like we talked about, you know, expansion, contraction, you do a thing and then you're like, I can't do this thing right now. And then you cut it. And I'll be honest, it's a little embarrassing to talk about something you're doing.
Yeah,
and then
that's true too.
Have to pull back for a second. And then months later, people are like, oh, are you ever going to finish that thing? And you're like, yeah, honestly, I'm trying. Like, yes, I want to and I will, but like, I have a full life full of things that I'm doing that are not just like the one thing that I'm tweeting about or the one thing that you latched onto that I'm tweeting about, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I feel that a lot. And I think the risk... So the benefits, let's talk about the benefits. The upside, I think, is potentially unlimited, you know?
Right.
You share the thing, somebody shares it, whatever. The whole deal of like, you put yourself out there, good things are going to happen. The downside is you're going to potentially be embarrassed. And I feel that a lot. Like I feel that a whole lot of, I'll put something out there and then have to drop it for sometimes a long time. And people are like, why didn't you do that? And it is embarrassing and it sucks and I hate it. But I think it's better. Like I have found that it's better to just like talk about what you're working on at the time. And then like just kind of hope that you carry it through. Like I have a lot of open threads on what I'm doing and what people know that I'm doing and that sort of stuff. And sometimes I'll pick up a thread and like push it down the road a little bit, mixed metaphor. I'll push kick the ball down the field, whatever. Right. And sometimes I have to drop it. But like, I think the screencasting one is a good example. I didn't really tweet much about it at all until I was pretty close to being done. Yeah. Because that one I knew, like, man, you got a long road ahead of you. Like, you just got the design done, and that the design is very cool. I got the design done in, like, April or something. Right. But I hadn't recorded a single video, and I was like, I'm not going to start this treadmill until I'm pretty close to done. Because
so there you go. That's a good example for me. I like that. Yeah.
I want to keep the hype. Like, I want to carry the hype through to like the launch day where people pay me money and buy the thing instead of like, this is something I'm just kind of working on. Let's all see how it develops together. So I don't know. It's tough.
It is tough. It's a very tough call. Yeah. But I like that idea. I mean, I guess that's kind of what I was thinking. It's like, I want to get things to a point where they're like semi-functional and more than just an idea in my head, but then definitely way before, it's coming out in a month or whatever. Like it's gotta be before that. Well, it kind of gets into this whole idea too of like, I don't know, maybe we should save this for another episode, but I want to get into that Tony Fidel tweet at some point that I'm obsessed with.
Let's save that because I feel like that's going to be a big one. You know what I want to end on?
Yeah, it's good.
I want to end on the fact that your kids aren't going to drive. What's going on there?
Trust me, this is a very interesting story. You as a young parent, I'm going to come down, be the old wise man.
All right,
impart knowledge that like you just have all these thoughts about your kids when they're little or before you have kids or all these things. And then like how the world changes along the way is quite interesting. And then how that impacts your children is quite interesting because the world you have your kids in will not be the world that they grow up in and then become young adults in. Yeah. And so... yeah, like everything's changed in the world. So I don't know. Of the three kids, only the oldest so far has not got his license and doesn't have really any interest in driving.
Okay, hit me with the ages again. How old are they?
So he's 17.
17.
And then the younger two are two young guys, 13 and 10. So
okay. So
but the other two, at least right now, the younger two are like, we want to drive. Like they are a little more like how I felt. I mean, I was there literally the day I turned 16.
Yep, same.
In the DMV to like get my license and do all that stuff. Fine. But the oldest, he's not interested in it. And then at first we were
how does he get around?
It's so he is okay with sacrifices I would not be okay with. So like obviously we take him, or pretty much like obviously we're taking him. Most of the time he has a girlfriend, so sometimes the girlfriend's family takes him. But like even
Does
right
the
there,
girlfriend drive? The girlfriend doesn't drive either?
No, the girlfriend doesn't drive, and he doesn't
What?
drive. I know. And so like
my goodness.
So I'm married to the woman I was dating when I was his age. So we are married. My wife and I have been together the whole time. And like I lived at her house. Like as soon as I got my license, I was gone. I was at her house all day, every day. And we would go whatever. We were driving all over. We'd go to New York City, even though that was illegal because you have to be 18 to drive there. We'd be all over the place, right? And so I literally was never home. The minute I got my license, that was it. That's the last my family saw me. I was out like 8 a.m. till midnight every day. I was out in the world. And I don't know. He's like fine with it. And part of that is like not the technology, like whatever. He can talk to his girlfriend. He can message her. He can video chat with her. He could do whatever. Like, I don't know. Like they're okay with it. And so then we started like just seeing these articles pop up. This is not even weird. Like this is a thing now.
Really?
Like, it's like a huge percentage of kids are not getting their license when they're 16. It's like 50% or something crazy. And yeah, so I don't know. Like, is it because they know there's Uber? Is it because like people are going to live in cities and they feel like they don't need it? I don't know, but he doesn't really have any interest in. He's okay with the limitations of like obviously only being able to go places when we can take him for the most part. And yeah,
wow.
So
I cannot imagine.
Very interesting.
Okay, so being 16, driving through McDonald's and getting a McFlurry,
lived
and then
at McDonald's.
drive around at like 11 at night, listening to Postal Service, thinking about how you're never gonna die. Like that is being 16.
I know. It's very strange to me. That is, yes, I would just drive up and down our main road, like listen to music.
Sure. Take the long way home. Yep.
Just like back and forth. And yeah, like, but you know, that's a whole weird thing. I mean, with technology, I think, this is all part of the, I guess, I feel like it's possibly a detriment. Who knows if it's actually a detriment.
That was a deep breath. You were steeling yourself for that, whatever you were about to say there.
But it's like even just driving around in my town, which is the town I grew up in. So I know this town very well. I mean, when I'd ride my bike around before I had a license, there was kids everywhere. Kids on bikes. I remember being scared of the kids on bikes. I remember being friends with other kids on bikes, kids walking, kids everywhere. And there's no kids anywhere now. Like there's no kids riding bikes. There's no kids walking. There's no kids anywhere. So I do think there is. And then, I mean, you think about like how did COVID impact all that?
Yeah,
like a lot of these kids in their kind of formative years were like, well, no, now like you're already staying inside a lot because you have game systems and phones and all these things. And now like, no, you're really staying inside. And I don't know. So is it just like that? This is the culture for this age range, but I don't know. He said he might get it at some point. So he's not totally written it off, but he's not in any rush.
Wow.
Which is very interesting. And definitely one of these things where like, yeah, like I would never in a million years think I'd have a kid who didn't want to drive. Cause like I was like driver number one. Like I was there minute one doing it. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, my bet with my wife is that our kids will never learn to drive because cars will drive themselves.
I saw you say that.
Yeah, not because they won't want to. Maybe I'll win the bet on a technicality.
Yeah.
So like maybe that's a good thing. I love winning. Yeah, as long as I win, I'm happy. But I've been watching like I think it's Zoox, maybe ZOOX is one. Cruise has one. But like the Zoox cars are. It's interesting when you go to like autonomous vehicles, like for real autonomous vehicles, they don't have to be, the interiors don't have to be designed and shaped like cars of the past. I know,
that's what I want. Yeah.
Yeah. And so these Zoox cars are like mobile living rooms, basically, or they're like, you know, single parts of a train, but on wheels. So you have like, I think 4 seats that face each other. And you just kind of push a button and it shows up and the little doors open and you climb in and then they close. And I think that's going to be, frankly, I think that's going to be the future. I think it's going to be, even if you own one, maybe you own one, maybe not everything is a rental or on demand or whatever, but you have a vehicle that like you can get in and tune out until you get to the spot you're going. And we don't have time to talk about it today, but also I think tunnels are the future. You can get me started about
You're
tunnels.
full on the Elon train.
Yeah, we could do a whole hour on how everything should be underground. But I think that's the future. But hey, if I went on a technicality of like, kids just want to stay inside, I guess I would.
I mean, you should check the fine print of your bet there. If it actually is, does it have to be truly autonomous, or just that nobody drives anymore because everybody
I'll keep bringing it up to her, and I'll just drop
Apple
like the
VR
autonomous
headsets, and like nobody actually leaves their house anymore.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see.
All
Check
right,
back in. Let's see. They're 2 years old. Check back in 14 years. So y'all stay tuned. Yeah, stay tuned to the pod.
7,846. We'll know for sure. But, hi, man. Sounds good.
All right. Talk to you soon. See ya.
We will. Yeah. I want to. Hey, hold on.
Whoa. We have a whole list now.
Where to find us. Yes, because every episode you're like,
we
tell them where to find us.
last time.
Yeah, I'm always like, I don't know where to find us.
Yeah. Do the thing where you say, all right, man, and I'll say, all right, and then we'll go to where to find us. So start over. Go ahead.
All right, man.
All right. Well, Ian, where can people find us? That's perfect.
You can find us at mostlytechnical.com, on Twitter at mostlytechpod. I guess we should get a LinkedIn. I don't know if that's even a thing, but we should look into that. No. And then mostlytechnicalpodcast at gmail.com. So if you have feedback, you can send that there, or just hit us up on Twitter, and we will note that for the feedback segments. But all right. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Okay, now that's the end. See ya.
See ya.